The first exercise that you're going to do in this yin cultivation is laying down meditation. That's how you want to start and close it. But for starting, as you can see, we have Reza over here laying down with his hands facing up and his feet are slightly apart, and he's relaxed that way. Now, the alternative position is to put your feet up with your feet flat on the ground, your knees up. Okay, there you go, just like that. And that's the other way. For some of you that might be more comfortable, you can do that. And you just want to hold this position for a good few minutes, whatever's comfortable for you. You can do it as little as I suggest at least 2 minutes. But you can also go all the way up to an hour. 20 minutes or an hour is fine. This is the first opening exercise, and then after the first exercise, we're going to do something that's going to be a little bit along the same lines of laying down meditation, but we'll get to that right after that. All right, and here's the second exercise. As you can see, Coach Reza is laying on his yin channels. His hands and his feet and everything, even up to his chin, are facing the ground. And you can hold this position for a good few minutes too. 2 to 5 minutes is more than enough. But this will, take off a lot of the fire that's in the body and replenish a lot of the, spiritual energy that you've been taxing to burn up through all the stimulants in your body that we take in all day. Alright, what we have here is the next position. Coach Reza is now kind of doing what you call the butterfly. He's got his feet together and he's bending over and he's just holding this. He's not forcing it, he's just falling into it. This is as far as his body naturally goes. And in time, the more you go into this position, the further you'll be able to stretch naturally without trying to, because your own body weight will, over time, push you to the point where you can get there. So you don't want to actually stretch and hurt things. You want to just let it stretch by themselves to the extreme. You'll see that's the most comfortable way and slowest way. It's the most yin way of developing this. And of course, as we mentioned before in the intro, is that all the channels that we're working here are going to be stretching your meridians and your yin channels. So this is like fundamental to compensate for so much of the stimulants and yang exercises that we do, and the moving of all this energy. We want to quiet down the energy, and we can do this by sitting calmly in these different positions. Alright, the next exercise is to simply put your legs together and to lean forward, kind of like how we explained before. You're not trying to force yourself to reach your toes or touch your head to your knees. You're simply just bending over and extending your arms out so that your body can naturally stretch the way it does, and your own body weight leaning forward will cause you to stretch to your limits, and you over time will push those limits by just through repetition of the daily practice of the yin cultivation. Alright, the next exercise is to fold one leg in. This is going to start stretching your lower hamstring and your buttocks, and more or less, again, the same concept, just ease into it. So you fold in one leg and keep the other leg straight, similar to the exercise beforehand. But you want to do this with both legs, so Reza will show you can just switch legs, no problem, and then stretch the other side. And fall into that. And of course you can hold that again for a few minutes. Again, doing these exercises daily, and before doing any yang exercises, or if you just can't take all the stimulants and stimulation in life, you need to nourish this life energy, this is the best way to do it. And make sure you just do all these exercises every day, and you'll be on your way. Alright, here's the next exercise. Reza's now laying back on his stomach, but this time he's using his hands to support himself so that he can look forward. And those of you who want to look up and stretch yourself a little more, that can help, but don't stress yourself by looking up too hard. Just every once in a while taking a look up in the sky will help, but generally looking forward is the best way to go if you're trying to hold it. And you're not trying to force your muscles, you're just trying to compensate for the stretching of the you just did by leaning forward. Now we're going to make sure we don't get too stiff. It's all about changing and making sure your body doesn't get stagnated. We want to break up the stagnation. So there you go. And this is an alternative position that he's displaying now. Some of you have more flexibility will be able to do this. So go ahead, don't stress your body, but all you're doing is laying on your stomach and using your arms to support you, and that'll stretch your back and your abdomen and some of these channels in your arms even, and in the lower back too. So with that being said, we'll move on to the next exercise. Now we have Reza bending over here, and you can see that he's folded his one leg and he's stretching his other leg. Okay, and he's using his arms to support them. Okay, everyone see that? And you can further this by leaning forward. So the alternative position is to go ahead and lay down like this, and it'll stretch even further the lower back area, as you can all see. And you can switch legs too, and you want to do both sides to get the maximum effectiveness of this exercise. See how he's just folding over like that, and then of course then he can just lean forward, and it's working the back just gently, not forcing anything. Stretching out, and that's that exercise. And this is the next position. It's kind of like sitting in Indian style, except you just put your leg out instead of on top of or crossed, and you just lean forward that way. And of course in this exercise you can also switch legs and you want to do both sides, but it's a really simple exercise. Alright, so this is the next exercise, is to actually cross the legs over each other and then lean forward. And this of course is going to stretch a whole lot. You want to hold all of these positions that we've shown you for a few minutes if you can. So give yourself an hour in the morning to run through the exercise. If you really want to get the best out of it, it's going to be better than any exercise you'll ever do. And if you do this exercise, you'll be able to handle everything else without regretting it as much, I promise you. Those of you who need to cultivate your yin energy, these are fundamental. What Reza has been displaying here has been the basics, and then the next part of this video I'll go ahead and show you the little bit more intricate parts of the yin exercise. So now that you guys are all loosened up and ready and yin down and opened up for the yin energy, now we can use the yin chi energy to heal ourselves, and I'll go through that after this. Okay, so the next set of this video here, I'm going to show you the more intermediate or advanced techniques of the yin exercise. What you saw Coach Reza do, everybody should practice as often as possible, regular. But to work with the chi or energy that you've created in that session, you can take it further, and I'll show you how. These other simple exercises. So those of you who want to take it even further, you can go lay down again. You want to also do this if you're not going to do this, you want to lay down again and close out. But this time, put your palms facing you at the ground. Keep your legs closer together. So you want to close out this way on the first set that you saw Coach Reza do. But on this set, when you're ready to start, you want to go ahead, and the first thing you can do is go ahead and just put your hands on your lower abdomen like this. And just try to breathe deep and naturally from there, feeling your hands rest on there, and you'll feel the warmth of your hands and the pulsing of your hands in your lower belly. And that's all you want to pay attention to. You just want to focus on notice what you're feeling, the energy flowing and pulsing, and the warmth and the connection and the touch. And after you hold that for a few seconds there, then you can go ahead and come up to the ribs over here. And I want you all to just gently, very gently, just rub and stimulate your rib cage, like so. And from here, you can draw your energy down and cover it over, your genital area, and that's going to be really warm energy that you'll feel start, buzzing and bubbling up. And that's what you want. And that's really important for lower back health. And then when you come up, you can come to the upper chest. You can cross your hands over and gently like rub in slight circle fashion on your chest with your fingertips. And then you can also just lay your hands on them, however you want to do. You can just go ahead and put your thumbs on your chest and rub like this, gently. And then you're going to come up to your neck, and you just rest your hands on your neck, cross them over and rest, and feel your hands pulse and your neck pulse. And hold that for a few minutes. Then afterwards, we want to go ahead and just rub our whole head, and our face, and our ears, and the sides of our head, and again our whole head, our scalp, and the back of our neck. Just rubbing everything. And then once you've done this exercise, you can go ahead and bring one foot up. Right? Am I doing good? Alright? And whatever leg you come up, you can put one hand on the back of your tailbone and the other hand on your neck and just hold that position. Like this. And of course you can alternate. And then you can do the alternate position for that, which is to go ahead and put your leg out this way and lean this arm that way. And this will twist your whole back. This is very good. Now put the leg out, stretch the arm out. And then to take it further, what we're going to want to do after that is you go ahead and put your knees up, and you're going to push against your knees. And obviously your knees are going to push against your hands. You're going to use some tension like this. Then we're going to push this way, and my legs are going to push that way out. We're going to resist this way. The same this way. I'm pushing my knees that way. Bringing them out that way. Alright? And then of course, then you're going to come up. Am I good? Alright, we're going to hold up this way. And just hold yourself up. And hold that. When you get comfortable and relax, you can come back and roll down on this position. And you can just do this cradle rocking like this. Up and down the spine like this. And once you've got that, then you can do the other position, which is to cradle rock this way. Alright. Once you come out of this cradle rock, I want you to go ahead and stick your hands and feet in the air. And you just want to stick your hands and feet in the air and rotate them and stretch your legs and hands like this. Get everything loose and stretched. Like so. And then after you're done with that, you can go ahead and relax for a moment on your front. Then of course after this we can turn around to close it out. We're going to make sure we don't get too yinned out. We go on our hands and stretch our back like this. Look up. Go ahead and go on your knees. Those of you who can, go ahead and put one hand down like we're good. And you can turn this way. And you can turn that way. Lean forward. Hold that for a minute. And then you're good.